today, hi, first, if you're new to my channel, I'm Lori, hi, and welcome to the Chatty Bookworm. And today I am going to be doing my mid-month wrap-up. I completed 12 books so far. I DNF'd 3, even though I forgot to grab one, it's over there. So yeah. Let's see. And I didn't change my update on that too, because I just decided to DNF the one that I put over there. Let's see. And instead of, I'm just going to do all the 4. Even if they weren't quite a 4, I'm just going to keep it as a 4. Since that's what I rounded it up to. But I'll tell you what those 2 actually were when I get to the 3. I mean, I'll still tell you that, it was like a 3.75, but I just rounded up to a 4. So that's what I'll do when I get to those 2. So I got 3 DNFs, 2 3 stars, 4 4 stars, 4 5 stars, and 2 6 stars. And I'm not going to go in any particular order. I'm just going to grab and let you know. The first one I DNF'd was The Ones We Were Meant to Find by Joanna Hugh-Haw. I don't know how you say her last name. And it's where the one sister goes missing and the other sister is trying to find out what happened to her, and she's like on this island, and there's like how do you say that word, that going on, and I think climate control and things like that. I'm pretty sure. I just couldn't get into it. I'm not very good at science and math, and there is science in there, there's math in there. Yeah, it's just confusing my brain. So that's why I DNF'd that one. Let me see if I remembered to grab the other 2 that I DNF'd. Yes. So you guys will find out about, you guys will be seeing the vlog before you guys see this wrap up. I was doing where I was reading Peter Pan for the first time, and then some retellings for Peter Pan. And one of the ones I was going to read was Lost Boys, and I just could not get into it. This is like the story of Captain Hook, and like why him and Peter, had their falling out, why Peter hates him, or he hates Peter, whatever you want to say. I just did not like any of the characters. Like, I was like, okay, you want to like James Hook, I think that's his name, right? James, his first name? But anyways, you want to like him in here at least, because you're supposed to be, sympathizing with him and, wanting to be on his side, and I just did not like him. I didn't like Peter. I just didn't like anybody. So, yeah, I just couldn't do it. And I was feeling a slump coming on. And then I started this last month, but I just decided to DNF it. The more I thought about it, the more I was like, no, because it has one of the tropes that I do not like in books. I'm not going to tell you what it is in case you want to read this book, but it's Jay's Gay Agenda by Jason June. I was really liking this until this part happened, and I was like, no. And this one is about Jay, who he lived in this one place, and he was out, but there was no one else. And then he moves because his mom gets a job, and there's finally, other people that are out like he is, and he has this agenda. It's entitled Jay Gay's Agenda. And he writes different things on the list, and he's trying to mark everything off. And like I said, there's just a trope in here that I do not like. And even if, well, it's kind of hard to explain because, like I said, I'd be spoiling it. But just say that I do not like this certain thing, and I was like, well, maybe I'll look at the end and see if he groveled for what this certain thing is. And to me, he didn't. Other people might have think he did, but I didn't. And no matter how cute I was liking liking it. I mean, you know, liking the relationship. I just did not like that certain trope. So I just couldn't read it. All right. Let me move these out of the way. It's got books all over. All right. So the first two that I'm going to talk about are the two other ones that I read for the historical romance readathon that I did last month into this month. I read Olivia and the Masked Duke by Grace Calloway. I gave this one 3 stars. There was just certain things that I didn't like. I didn't mind the age gap at all, but there was just certain things that the main girl, Grace, I think her name is. No, Olivia. Why did I say Grace? Probably because the author's name is Grace. But Olivia, there's just things that Olivia does that I just didn't like, and there were some things that just weren't believable to me. So yeah, and you know, this is a Charlie's Angel retelling, basically. Well, I don't know why I'm saying basically, it is. And I didn't know that. And I like that aspect because I love Charlie's Angels. Growing up, I used to play that all the time. So, but this is her trying to get him to like her because he's a lot older. She's 19, I believe, and he's 31. So, yeah. But it's just that, and it's also, like I said, you know, detective thing. They're like her and her 2 friends. Hold on a minute, you guys. Hold on. But like I was saying, her and her 2 friends get I don't know why I said 3. 2 girls friends get, excuse me. They get what's that word? They get offered a job to become detectives, basically. So Charlie's Angels. I don't know why I'm holding that one up. So Charlie's Angels. Yeah. And yeah, there was just some things I just didn't believe, but I did like the romance. I really like Ben. Yeah, Ben. I really like Ben. And for the most part, I liked the book, but it just, like so many books I really, really super loved from there. And this one just, I didn't love near as much. So I couldn't give it any higher than a 3. It was more like a 3.5, but I could not in good conscience because everything else was so good. I could not round it up to 4 on Goodreads, so that's why I gave it a 3. But I still recommend it if you don't mind age gap and it being a little slow at first and then some unbelievable, you know, plot parts. This one I freaking loved. This one was one of my 6 stars. And you're going to see that both of my 6 stars were romance books. So yeah. But this one's The Highwayman by Kerrigan Bryant. This is the first one in, what is they call it? Do they have a thing for it? Not sure if they have a, you know, a whole thing for it. Whatever you want to say. But I read the other one and I gave it 6 stars. This is the first one. The Hunter's the second one, which I read last month, which was my absolute favorite book last month. And so far, this is my absolute favorite book this month. It's so good. These are about these guys that they get sent to Newgate for some reason. And then they get out and they, you know, do things. Like the one guy, he was an assassin. This guy, he wants to protect the girl, so he wants to marry her for he could protect her, and he doesn't want anything to, you know, he doesn't want to like sleep with her or anything like that. He just wants it in name only, just where he could protect her from a certain person. And they knew each other when they were young. and something happened when they were young, and he got sent to Newgate. And it goes from there. It was so good. I loved it. We got to see Christopher from the other book, who I love. So yeah, it was nice. I definitely would like to continue on in here if I can find some more of the books for a reasonable price. But yeah, really like that one. Let's talk about the other 6-star. I'm pretty sure I gave it 6 stars. Yeah. I read Highlander Most Wanted by Maya Banks. This is the second book. Yeah. I read last month. I read forget what it is. Never Seduce a Highlander or something it was called. I gave that one 6 stars. Yeah, Never Seduce a Scot. That's what it is. A Scot. Never Seduce a Scot. But I gave that one 6 stars. I loved it. This one I still really loved. Gave it 6 stars. It wasn't quite as good as Never Bet a Scot or Never Wed a Scot, whatever I said it was called. But it was still good. He goes to this place because, you know, he wants to get revenge. In the first book, something happens, and to his brother's wife, and they want to go and kill this guy, and they get there and the guy's gone, and so they take over the keep, and she is a prisoner there. The guy kidnapped her, made it look like she died. He killed everybody that was in the stagecoach or whatever it was that she was in, and made it look like she died, and she was being abused and everything. It's really tough. It really talks about that. And yeah, it's just their story was so awesome. Awesome. Like, yes, these two, like I said, just like last time, 2 of my favorite books of the year so far, of this month and this year so far. Let's get with these 4, I believe. Yeah, these 4 I read for, let me get comfortable here. Oh, look at my back. These 4 I read for Summerween, that Olivia reads a latte, and Gabby from Gabby Reads through at the beginning of the month. I read The Maidens, gave it 4 stars, I think. I don't know if I wrote it down. I'm pretty sure this one got a 4 star. Maybe 5? I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember what I gave it. I think I gave it a 5 star. I'll double check when we're done, but I really like this one a lot. I might have gave it a 4 star, but we'll see. I read Taylor Adams' Hairpin Bridge, gave that 4 stars. I read Bridge of Souls, the final one in the, what is it called, the first one? City of Ghosts trilogy by Victoria Schwab. I gave that one 4 stars. And Survive the Night by Riley Sager, gave 5 stars. This was my favorite from the readathon. So yeah, you guys can add it up if you guys want, you know, because I told you guys there was 3 DNFs, 2 3 stars, 4 4 stars, 4 5 stars, and 2 6 stars. So yeah, if I counted that right. Yeah, 4, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Right? I think, yeah, because I read 12 and DNF 3, so that should be 15. So, yeah. So, Bridge of Souls, I really can't say nothing much about, because like I said, it's the 3rd one in the series, but it's about Cassidy Blake, who almost died in the first book, and now she can see ghosts, and she has a best friend named Jacob, and it's them, like, her and him and this one person banishing, like, the bad spirits and stuff that need to, you know, that they need to get rid of, basically. So that's what it is. And her mom and dad are ghost hunters. And they do that show, you know, where they show like things to do with ghosts, whatever you want to say. So that was a 4-star. Let's see. Hairpin Bridge. It's about her twin sister died, and she thinks this cop was involved with it, and everybody else thinks it was suicide, and it's her trying to basically find out the cop did it, and if he did, to get him to confess. There was a lot of twists and turns in here, but it just wasn't as good as No Exit. I love No Exit. I think I gave No Exit a 4.5 and rounded up to 5 on Goodreads. This one was like a 4.25 to a 4.5, but I didn't like it enough to give it a full 5. So I lowered it to a 4, but it was still really good. Yeah, I really liked the twists and turns in that one. The Maidens, about this girl that, this lady who thinks that the professor is going around killing these girls. Who she considers a daughter, calls her and says that something happened to her friend, and she believes that this guy is the one that's doing it. What is his name? Edward. So she thinks Edward is doing this, and she's trying to prove it. And this one I really, really liked. This one had a lot of twists and turns. I think this is the one I gave out of the 3 that I rounded. Out of the 3 that were like a 4.5 that I rounded up to a 5. I believe this is the one. So yeah, I really liked it. I love the twists and turns. I love that it had like a character from The Silent Patient, and this is what the ending of this book is what starts The Silent Patient. So yeah. So I thought that was cool. I love that he threw that in there. Let's see. Survive the Night. I know a lot of people are not liking this book by Riley Sager. Oh my gosh, I loved it. So I feel like I should give this actually a 6-star. I'm really thinking about changing my thing and putting this on my favorite of the year. I don't really have a lot of mysteries that have been a favorite this year. So even if I don't put this, give it a 6-star, it will probably still be a favorite of the year in like the mystery category, because I'm going to try to do like mystery thriller category and like romance category, and then narrow everything down to the top, my top 10 with a couple honorable mentions maybe. But this is about this girl that thinks that this guy, Josh, I believe his name is a serial killer and killed her roommate. And what happens is that she wants to go home for a while because because of her friend dying, and she don't know if she wants to come back. And she goes, how you can like look on the board and find someone that you could carpool with, or whatever you want to say, to get home if you guys are going in the same direction. And that's what happens. She meets Josh through that. And I loved it. I thought it was cool, all the twists and turns and who the killer was, and I just really liked the main character. It was kind of weird because she like sees through like things. So sometimes you don't know, like movies, she sees things through movies sometimes. So sometimes she thinks something is happening, but it's really not happening. So I think that's why a lot of people didn't like it, because she's kind of a reliable narrator. But I loved it. I've never heard of such a thing in books. And I thought it was so cool that they did that they put her, like, movies going through her head. I like that. Now, if they have to be unreliable, this is the kind I want for an unreliable narrator, because I think it's cool. And that ending was awesome. Yeah. So good, you guys. I'm really thinking about changing this to a 6-star. Let's see. I already told you about the one I DNF for this reading Peter Pan, and yeah, I'm trying to get the ones for the Peter Pan one out. We'll talk about those next. Oh boy, I got so many books. Peter Pan. Nope, that's not it. Okay, so we got, of course, Peter Pan. Gave that it was like a 3.25 to 3.5, but I rounded it. I mean, I only gave it 3 on Goodreads. I liked it, but I wish I would have picked a different version of the retelling. I do have another one on my shelf that I forgot about, so I might read that, not as a not in a like another vlog like what I did, but you know, like just read it and see like how it compares to this one. But yeah, it was a 3-star. It was okay. It's a retelling of Peter Pan, you know. I liked it, but I'll tell you about my favorite one in a minute. But this one definitely was a 3-star. Thought it was cute. I liked it. It was interesting to see like how Peter is really. But yeah. And then Wendy Darling by A.C. Weiss. This is about, of course, a retelling with Wendy as the main character. And Peter comes, and instead of taking her, he takes her daughter, Jane. And she goes and she wants to, you know, get her daughter back. So that's what this is about. But it also has like her past, like what, like when she came back from Wonderland. Is that what it's called? What's it called? Neverland? Why did I say Wonderland? Neverland. When she came back to Neverland, what happened to her and her brothers? And also, you know, like her how she got wound up marrying the guy she marries. And yeah, this was very dark. This was like a 3.75, but I rounded it up to a 4 on Goodreads. I thought it was good. It was a little like, there was parts that were really like violent. Like this is probably the most violent out of the books that I've read from the Peter Pan retelling. So I think if you like really violent books, I mean, there's a lot of like trigger warnings in here. I'll tell you one, but I'm not going to tell you the rest because, you know, people think it's spoiler. But one of it is that there's definitely an animal cruelty scene in here. So yeah, but there's other ones as well. Then, my favorite out of the books that I read for that was Darling by Kay Ankrum. This one, of course, like I said, is another Peter Pan retelling. And Wendy, her and her family move to this place, and this Peter, of course, he comes to her window, and she goes with him. What she thinks is going to be a fun night on the town, and a lot of shit goes down this book, you guys. It was so good. Like, this was really pretty intense, too. This one I liked, and I could finish it, even though, like, the one that is supposed to be Hook is not the most likable, really not likable character, but at least I understood him a little bit more than in the one that I DNF'd. Like, I did not like that Captain Hook at all. And this one, even though I didn't like him, there were some things that were okay, you know, about him. But for the most part, I didn't like him. But still, I liked other characters. I loved Wendy. I loved the one supposed to be Tinkerbell. I loved the Lost Boys. Like, I just thought it was really good. Really good. And you got Rep in here. I think is she bi? I'm trying to remember if Wendy's bi. I'm trying to remember if it's this one. Or maybe it's the other one that has Rep in it. I can't remember if this one has Rep in it, but I know Wendy Darling does, because I know Wendy is bisexual. At least it implies that, and I believe her husband is also bi. So that one does have Rep in it. But I can't remember if this one did. So don't quote me, but I think it had Rep in it. But it was really good. It was nice and dark, but not super dark. Yeah, it was just a fun retelling of Peter Pan, and I'm glad I read it. This is the first book by this author that I actually finished. I DNF'd all her other books. So that tells you something. But yeah, I really loved it. And the only two that were, well, actually, these were for a theme as well. I forgot. I also did where I read two of my most anticipated spooky horror books. So I read in that one, The Final Support Group by Grady Hendrix. And I also buddy read this with my friend Ashley and a couple other friends of hers on Instagram. And I gave this, it was like a 3.75, but I rounded up to a 4. Yeah, I liked it. It took me a while to get into it. I think it would have been a 5-star because the last half I freaking loved, and I think it would have been a 5-star if I would have loved it the first half as much. But it took me a long time to start liking, I always forget her name, Lynette. Yeah, it took me a while to really start liking her. So, yeah, or anybody else for that matter. And it was slow at first to me. Ashley loved it. She gave it 5 stars. She didn't think it was slow at all. I thought it was very slow at the beginning. This is about, of course, a group of girls that are final girls, and it's their story, especially Lynette. Yeah, it's very dark, but it wasn't scary. It was dark, but not scary. Like, you know, people die, of course, so it's going to be dark, but it didn't scare me at all. At all. Like the other one I'm going to talk about, it gave me the creeps. But this one didn't creep me out whatsoever. I was like, this is cool, but, you know, it wasn't like, oh my God, I'm so scared, you know. I wanted to be scared. Like, when I read Clowns in the Cornfield by Adam, I can't remember his last name, last year, why it wasn't super scary, I was like jumping a couple of times in that one. This one, I did not jump at all. Like, I was like, ooh, this is cool. Oh, what's going to happen next? But I didn't jump. It didn't scare me, and I wanted to be scared. Like, I want to find a book that really scares me, because so far, nothing, like, really freaked me out. This one that I'm going to talk about came close, but not quite. So this one, like I said, 3.75, round up to a 4. I definitely recommend it if you love Grady Hendrix, but I thought his, the only other one I read by him was that, what's that one called again with the vampire? Oh, here it is. Southern's Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. I love that one so much. Loved it, loved it, loved it. This one wasn't quite as good there for me. And I think that one was like a 4.5, and I rounded up to 5, so I could not give this, I could not round it up to give it a 4.5 or higher, because I just did not like it as much as I did the other one. So that's why it got a 4 and not a 5. But definitely the second half is definitely a 5-star. First half is like a 3. And that's how I came up with about 3.75. Rounded up to a 4. So yeah. But definitely really still enjoyed it. Definitely want to read his other books, and definitely will read his next one. And the last one, I gave 5 stars, even though I'm also thinking about giving this 6 stars. If not, it's going to also be one of my favorites of the year anyways, and that one, horror, fantasy, horror, whatever you want to say. But that is The Taking of Jake Levinston by Ryan Douglas. It says, "Fear will find you." This one is about, no, why did I forget his name? Jake? No, not Jake. Why do I always, yeah, it is Jake. I was right. It's about Jake, who is a medium, and there's this boy that killed killed like 6 other people, and then killed himself, I believe, and shot like 20 other people, and he wants to possess Jake, and he like follows him around and haunts him. Yeah. This one had some scenes with insects. That's all I'm going to say. I don't want to spoil. I won't tell you what kind of bugs and stuff, but it had some scenes there, and it was gross. There's something that, like, happens to Jake that was, even though, I'm not going to say, but something happens to Jake in this book, and it freaked me out. I was like, ew, yuck. So, yeah, it made me scream. I mean, not scream. What is that word? Like, ew, that a little bit. So, yeah, it was good, you guys. Like, I was getting, not like, I wasn't scared, but I was getting a little, I was starting to get some little goosebumps. That the Final Girl support group did not give me the goosebumps that I wanted. This book, oh my gosh, did it give me the goosebumps. I just love this so much. And I freaking love Jake so much. There is a little bit of a romance in here. Jake is gay, so you get the rep. And you get the creepiness. I don't know if everybody would think this is creepy. Like, if you're, like, used to, like, creepy books and stuff and scary books, then you probably won't think this is as really creepy. But it gets pretty creepy because, you know, there's possession involved in this. Because, you know, the guy can possess people. So he possesses Jake. Like, there's a lot of different things going on in this book that is crazy. So if you don't like books with possession, I don't know if you would like this, but oh my gosh, it was so good. So good. And Jake, you just wanted to root for him because he was being bullied. And even, I don't know if everybody would feel that way, but I kind of felt, I didn't feel bad for the guy because he killed all these people, but stuff that happened, certain things that happened to, what was his name? What is his name? Sawyer. Certain things that happened to Sawyer, if he would have got help, if somebody would have helped him, who to say? He might not have turned out to be a killer. He could have still turned out to be a killer, but there's just certain things in his story that if it would have ended a certain way, none of that would have happened. It's so, like, it goes there in so many things that I wasn't expecting. I thought it was awesome. Like, oh my gosh. I would definitely read this again. When I get a credit, I would love to get the audio of this and listen to it again the Halloween month. Because this would be an awesome Halloween book to listen to on audio, I bet. And if you don't like audio, then as a book, definitely pick it up. I highly, highly recommend this book. Highly recommend it. I loved it. I really think I should change it to 6 stars. I'm really thinking about this one and Survive the Night both to go to 6. Because I thought Survive the Night deserves probably a 6. Because like I said, I loved how, I can't remember the main character's name. I liked how Charlie, how, like I said, she could see things through, like movies, like horror movies and stuff. I love that. Also, I wanted to show you guys, this is cool about the Final Girl support group, is that Grady Hendrix, like the start of each chapter, let me get it. The start of each chapter, he writes, he does a little thing about different Final Girls and stuff like that, and things, and like chats and things that are creepy. I'll show you another one. Like here's one, it says, Final Girl Support Group, notes by Dr. Carol Elliott, session number such and such, September such and such, who's in attendance, and what's going on. So there's just like different things. I love the, we'll end with this, with his things here. So he says, Amanda, true love is putting someone else before yourself, which is why I thought you should walk across the ice before me. And then he says right here, Final Girl, the last and sole survivor of a horror movie. And then right here it says, last word on Final Girl doc on YouTube has 2.1 million viewers. WTF. Who cares about a bunch of grandmas with saggy necks? If one of them was hot, okay, I can understand, but I'm so sick of hearing about them. It says, time won't be kind. Their 15 minutes were up 15 years ago. I wish they would all disappear. And then this person says, be patient. Remember Viper Henson, Ricky Walker, and Walter Scruggs, something like that? are in prison, not dead. People say Dream King's still out there. One day people will totally forget about FGs, then they will get what they deserve. So, like, he just writes like certain things like that in there. Also, I did not know. If I could find the video I was watching somebody, I didn't finish watching it yet, but I started watching someone's vlog for this, and they were saying the girl from, is it Nightmare on Elm Street? Yeah, the main character from Nightmare on Elm Street. This person was saying that the actress for that does the audio book for this. And if that's true, that's cool that he got someone that was from one of the horror movies to do the audio. Like, that's awesome, I think. So that's cool if that's true. But yeah, this was still really good. Like I said, I really liked it. 4 stars is good, you know. It's really good. Like I said, that last half was 5 stars for me. The last half, definitely. And you really start to feel more for Lynette. Why do I want to call her Jeanette? Lynette. You really start to feel for her. So if you're like me and you start reading it and you're like, oh, I don't like her, I don't care if she survives or not, keep reading it, you guys. Because you might turn out like me and really start to understand where she's coming from. Because she's, yeah. I mean, I tried to, like, at first I was so upset with her and stuff that she did. And then I was like, how would I feel if I went through all that this girl goes through? All these girls went through. Like, how would I feel? And once I, like, started doing that and went into that mindset, I really, really started liking her and calmed down. She's still not my favorite character of all times, but I learned to appreciate her more by the end of the book. So, yes, definitely, I felt like she improved as the book went on. But she was kind of unreliable to me at certain times, but that's okay. So, yeah. I've read a lot of books already. I haven't finished one since I updated you, since I'm doing this one now. But I'm in the middle of 1, 2, 3, 4. Like 4 or 5 books. So, yeah, we'll see if we get if I get all 5 of those read. But, yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know what your favorite book so far this month was. Have you read any of the books I read? Let me know if you did, what you thought about them. If you haven't yet, is there any of them ones that I read that you are planning on reading? Or maybe I said something that made you decide you either want to read the book or not want to read the book? Let me know. All right, I'm going to let you guys go because this is almost 40 minutes. I hope you guys have a good day. I'm not sure what time this is going to go, what day this is going to go up. Probably Wednesday? Maybe Wednesday afternoon. Because I've been doing videos once in the morning and one in the afternoon. So I might do that again on Wednesday. So if I do, it'll be up Wednesday. So happy Wednesday or happy Friday when you see this. And I hope you have a good rest of the week. And yeah, like I said, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, please think about subscribing. And remember, hit that bell icon so you'll know whenever a video like this is up for your viewing pleasure. And I hope you guys enjoy this. Happy reading. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys. And I hope you guys all have a great rest of the week, like I was saying. And keep reading. Don't force yourself to read. If you're not feeling a book, DNF it. I DNF 3 books. 3 books this month, you guys. 3 books. Sometimes you just got to DNF or you're going to get into that slump. So, yeah, don't be afraid to DNF. And happy readings, like I said. I love you guys. Thanks if I can talk, thank you for being so awesome. And I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.
Sorry, it's DJ.